I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame consciousness, twin flame process, and I haven't put a video out for about a month. I've just been kind of focused in on my process really and trying to let go. But I thought I'd come and do one today because it's just been a really big shift. So you might have experienced it in a different way than I have. But I'm just going to share with you the way that I've experienced that shift. And then I'm going to do a few cards. So I've got my cards here. And just want to say, if you want to share your experience, you're welcome to do that in the comments. The comments are on. I don't often go in the comments because I don't like to get triggered. And quite often they can be quite triggering. But you're welcome to, talk to each other if you want to do that there. I've also got a Facebook page which is up and running, but I'll post this video up, but that's about all I'm doing there at the moment. So I guess I'm kind of lying low a bit, being a bit kind of keeping quiet with all of this right now because of my process. But I just wanted to share this because this shift was huge, and just to explain as well what's happened in my process since the last time I was here doing a video. So things shifted. I think I said it was going to shift on the 10th, which it did. There was a huge shift. I can't remember what that was now. Not as big as this one we've just been through, but there was a shift. And they told me about working with the moon, like the different stages of the moon, which I will put out some videos on that at some point, but not just yet because, like I say, I'm still kind of focusing on my own process. The other thing I just want to say before I share this thing is I know there's a lot of people out there following me a long time, and a lot of you have had a lot of readings from me. And when you get readings, sometimes you get told that you're getting, it's coming towards you, like reunion is coming towards you. And I just wanted to say that I don't know where you all are in that process, obviously, but I can only ever tell you what they tell me. So I can't tell you anything else, basically. So I just want to say that if that hasn't happened and you've been told that it is going to happen, then you're basically just getting what I'm getting because I get told it's going to happen. And it's been going on for years. But it doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just means that it hasn't happened yet. And that's what they also say. So you just have to bear with the process, right? And you just have to let go of everything that you hear along the way. And it's fine to hear things and it's fine to take them on board, but then you can't hang on so much that you're causing yourself pain with it. So it's like you cannot bang yourself around the head with it and want more than you've got right now. You just have to be focused into the present moment of what is going on and let go as much as you can. And I know that's not always easy because I go through exactly the same thing myself, and that's kind of what I just went through in the past month. So what happened was, I can't really remember my starting point, but I started off feeling fine and in higher self the last time I was here doing a video. And then what happened was I stayed in higher self. Everything was fine. I was feeling good. I was in a state of let go. They've been saying to me now, if we look at just this year, that this was going to be this year, this reunion. And also I don't go to psychics anymore and ask them, and that's been nearly 2 years now. I haven't been to anybody, and I won't be going again. Not because people are wrong, but just because I don't want to hear anything again from outside of myself, because I know it just disrupts my vibration. But I was told, I think 2 years ago, May, June would be a really good time for me. So of course I held on to that, and I thought that was going to be last year, and it wasn't, because we were in lockdown. And then I thought it was going to be this year, and it also wasn't. I was also told by somebody a long time ago, you'll be making plans by the autumn. So every year it comes around and I'm thinking, well, it's going to happen by the autumn because we're going to be making plans by the autumn. So there's a lot of letting go that I've had to go through in terms of what I've been told by other people of this journey. And now I just let go of all of it because I've gone past all those things so many times, like jumping hurdles, Is it going to be this autumn? Is it going to be this May, June? That's all gone now, and I don't listen to that, and I've let go of that. And I'm really just going now by what it is that I get through. And what I've recognized is this pattern of energetic movement towards it, and how that comes through my everyday life, my physical existence, and how that momentum shows up in my physical life and my everyday life and my life experience. So that's kind of what I want to share here, because that's how you get to see your own process and how your own process is evolving. And the other thing is, we can never know everything about this process, and we can never know everything about our journey here on earth and why we're here and what it's all about and what twin flames are all for. And we can't see everything. We can be told some things and we can know some things, but it's a vast, there's a vastness that is an incredible vastness where we can't, we can't see it all. So to try to see it all and pin it down, put it into a box and have it all nailed down and have it so that's holding on, basically. That's the opposite of letting go. So the letting go is including just letting go and be like, okay, so what shows up is what shows up. It's part of my process. And how is this what's showing up? How can I view that differently and see that as part of my energetic process, rather than being tied to it in a lower vibrational, energetic way, in an egoic way, where I'm just focused on that physical reality and I'm not seeing the beauty of an energetic process unfolding through my physical experience. So it's kind of like you're removing yourself from your own life, which I said before in videos, and you're standing back and you're watching your process with a different lens. Because if you're watching it with the egoic lens all the time, and you're just like so focused in on what is, well, first of all, the ego thinks everything's wrong, mainly. It's the fear and it's the vibration of fear. But it's so focused in to like I want to say details, but that's not really the right word. It's more like focused in on, it's controlling, right? The ego likes to focus in and control the physical life experience. And yeah, it's part that wants to make plans, and it has timelines, and it wants to be by the autumn, and it wants it to be when it's said it's going to be, and all that kind of sort of thing, right? So this whole process is about letting go. So I know that every time you're told something and it doesn't turn out to be the case, it's about you letting go. I know that for sure, right? Because I've been through this process now a long time, and I've witnessed myself and my process and how I have not let go and how it's been just pushed through. And it's the fundamental force, vibrational force of letting go that is being requested of me the whole way through this process. And the letting go, when you really let go, is letting go of all pain inside of yourself. And that's when the heart opens. And another thing I do know, and I know for sure, is that process of opening the heart is about opening your heart and their heart. So that's the two people who are connected, their heart, right? And both their hearts. And that heart opening is about the joining together of them in the physical manifestation, physical reality. But then that's just, that's like chalking two little notches on a chalkboard, and you've still got another 10 million equations, right, that you can't fathom. So we might know something, but if we wanted to look into that further, that's vastness in terms of like why or how or who or what for or any of that. We could find bits of that, but what's the point of it really? Because there's no need to like have it all pinned down. There's only just to understand that it is all you require, right? I'm in process. And with that, it's like you can be in like a car with the top rolled down and on an empty road driving through to like, bliss. But you can't do that if you're like still kind of in a car parked in the rain with the top up, looking at a map, trying to chart your way there without even setting off. It's about the freedom of it, right? It's about the freedom and the let go. So that's one thing we know. So just to say that, and also to say that, oh yes, I must say this now as well, really. So everything is everything, all right? Everything is everything. So you could take one person and you could say, this is my twin flame, but you can't, because that is bringing it into a physical reality. You can only say everything is everything. So there is masculine energy and there is feminine energy. And there is everything that is masculine energy. And then there is everything that is feminine energy. So if you wanted to say everybody, there's half the earth working from a masculine perspective and half the earth working from a feminine, in terms of the people that are manifested on the earth, then you'd be closer to the truth, right? Everything is what everything is. And just to explain that a little bit, I don't know if anybody's seen this movie. This is going to sound crazy, but honestly, this journey's crazy. There's a movie, it's called French Exit. Um, and I watched it recently, and it was so funny because it's this. I won't tell you all of it in case you haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen it, watch it if you can. There's a relationship between the woman Michelle Pfeiffer and a cat. So I won't say any more. I have got a cat who lives 2 doors away. His name is Charlie. He's masculine energy. He's got same colour eyes as my twin. He will come to my house every morning. He will sit on my windowsill until I go outside and stroke him and give him a treat. If it's a nice day, he will then go down to the end of my garden and he will sit in a specific spot and stare, because I can see right to the end of the garden from where I sit here, at me with those eyes of his, and until I go out and play with him with some sticks. Then once we played with the sticks, I have to stroke his head in a certain way, generally over his eyes, until he has felt he's had enough of that going on, and then he will go to sleep for a bit. And then he'll be back later. We don't do the play later, but we do the treats and we do the stroking of the head. He is my twin. He is my twin. And there's this weird thing years ago when I knew my twin, and we would bump into each other in some bar somewhere in New York, and he would just go over the other side of the room without coming to say hello, and he would just stare at me. He would just stare at me until he got my attention, and I would go over to him. Right, and it's exactly the same thing that is playing out between me and Charlie the cat. So you've just got to know, right, energy is everything is everything. So your twin can appear as anything because it's the energy of the masculine coming through, and it's the energy of what is going on. What Charlie's representing is the energy of what's going on with me and my twin, even though we're at separation at a distance and I haven't seen him for what amounts to about, might as well be 1,000,000 years. It's the same thing coming through that we used to do. However ridiculous that might sound, that is exactly what it is. And even down to the head rubbing, my twin used to like his head rubbed, is the same thing. And when I do my cards for myself and they keep showing me the strength card, which is the woman and the lion, and they're talking about me healing my twin by rubbing Charlie's head. So it's all connected. Everything is everything is everything. So you got to understand as well, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, and I don't want anyone to be scared, and I'm not trying to take anything away from anyone, and I want you to just be open and hear and not be afraid, and go with your own instinct and your own gut on this. Some exit this journey, right? It's very, very, very trying on the masculine energy, this journey, because it's recovery from so many things in the physical life. We all go through these things, the feminine and the masculine. There's a lot of, as you know, the torture and the torment that you go through in terms of like your life and what it's about and the people around you and the letdowns and the punishments and the cruelty and the fight or flight syndrome and the PTSD. And the masculine goes through a lot of that because they're masculine energy. They're not so in touch with their emotions. They're not so able to like deal with their emotions. Some of them exit. Some of them exit because they decide to take their own lives and they will transform back into source. And some of them exit because that amount of stress on the physical body, and emotional stress is physical stress on the physical body, causes a disease or an illness, and that will take them out of the game. But what you've got to understand, and this is as true for me as it is for anybody else. So I know this could be my twin that this would happen to. And I've had a lot of signs of him being at that point of resistance in terms of his physical life, that he would be exiting. I've had a lot of that in the past. I know he hasn't exited so far, but there is always a chance that he might. But I'm just saying it because what I want people to hear it for is because when you get to the end of this journey, when you're about to manifest love, because basically that's the end of the process, it's you manifest love back into your life, and that is in terms of people, cats, whatever, showing up, right? It's you will get multiple choices of people showing up for you, and choices around love. And also just to understand as well, because the one little hook here that you might be feeling in your heart when you hear that, which is a truth that I'm speaking in terms of some people's journeys, you might feel a leap in your heart, that's pain in your heart, that makes you feel like you can't go on if that happens. But I'm just going to tell you that you don't get to the end of the journey until that has healed and cleared anyway, because we all feel that no matter what. The separation makes you feel that in your heart. But once you're at the end of the journey, you no longer feel that. You might have, as I've had, got also as you get further towards the conclusion of the journey, you get the ability to see into the energetic journey itself, and a lot of us do anyway, and to see how it is resolving, and to understand that everything is everything and energy is energy. So by the time you get to it, the end of it, if you're going to get maybe 5-10 people coming towards you offering you love, and you'll be ready for that love. And I'm not saying you would, I'm going to say who you're going to choose, but you'll be ready to love again. So you will be ready to love again no matter who comes along. And everything on this journey gets you ready for that, and to be ready for that, no matter whether there's someone particularly you're connected to that you know about, or if there's nobody that you know about but you just feel like there's someone out there. Everything is getting you ready for love. And by the time you are ready, you quite honestly will be open to trying them all out and trying it on for size with a few different people, basically. So that's that. And then, so you won't feel any like loss or sadness at all if that's the case, if yours exits, as some of them do. What else? Right, so then we'll go back to what I wanted to tell you about my process. So I've had this thing for years where I get pushed now and just do what I'm told, basically, because I know I have free will, I have freedom, I don't have to go out to a job or anything like that anymore. I don't have to be around people I don't want to be around. I've got a lot of freedom. I've got a lot of freedom of choice. I can get up in the morning, I can be like, right, I'm going to put on the Grand Theft Auto game. I'm going to have a drink at 10 o'clock. Am I going to have my breakfast? What am I going to do? I've got a lot of freedom like that. So I do have a lot of free will. I have a lot of feeling good. I'm at the end of this, and there's been a lot of feeling good. So my vibration's really high, and it's the highest it's ever been. And I get a feeling, total feeling of non-resistance and resolution with that feeling as well. So I know I'm almost there. But of course, you're tied to the energy of the masculine, so you're bringing something forward. So I know that when I'm getting pushed, and well, you're always getting pushed, but sometimes you feel it more, is that I'm bringing something forward, and it's like having to kind of lasso something behind you and pull it. Sometimes it feels like pulling it out of a pit. When it's pulling it out of a pit, it means that you have to climb halfway down the pit to help to pull it out. So you have to drop vibration to get down there to help pull it out. So at the end of around the time I did the last video, just after that, and I was in a really great vibration and everything was feeling good, and there was a really great let go going on, and freedom and all that kind of stuff, and happiness and laughter, and I got a huge push. So what happened was, and it comes through vibration moves in mysterious ways. So I was in the other room and I was playing the Grand Theft Auto game, which I do play because I like it. And I suddenly got up. I wasn't consciously doing this. I got up, I walked into this room where my computer is, and I went online and I looked up this treatment, face treatment, which is helps with veins on your face, because I've got these. I went through a lot of dark energy. A lot of it was around my what was manifesting on my skin. And so I just looked up this treatment where it is locally to me, and then I booked it. And then I went away back into the other room, and I was like, I didn't even know I was going to do that or mean to do that. I just did it. So I knew I was being pushed, and I was being pushed to do something with my face, which was, it might as well have been something like going for a microblading or something like that. It wasn't, but, it's all the face, right? So I thought, well, that's interesting that I'm now, because I've gone through that food healing thing all last year. And this is literally when the food healing started last year, this is when this kicked in. So it was this with the face. So I booked this thing. And then the next thing was that lockdown was over and I got a huge push to go out shopping. So I went out shopping. I didn't really know what I just thought I'm just going to look around the shops. It'd be nice to go out without a face mask and walk around and feel free. And so I'm going to sit on a train without having to wear one because I couldn't stand doing that. So I went and did that. And I was walking around the shop. I had some things in mind that I needed, very humdrum, boring things that weren't, non-expensive and daily use, kind of like walking boots, really. It's all hills around here and it's muddy and that. Anyway, so I was walking around the department store and I suddenly looked down and in my hand I was holding a very expensive leather jacket. Well, it was cut price, but it had been a very expensive leather jacket. Something that you wear on a night out and something that I don't go out anywhere. I don't ever go out. So there's no point in me having that. But as I looked at it in my hand, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I tried it on and it fit me perfectly. And I was just like, well, I've got to have it. So I had it, I bought that. And then there was a few other things, not that day. It's kind of been an ongoing process that I've been doing this shopping now. And it's things like makeup and it's stuff to wear to go out and all that kind of stuff. I've even got an inkling, I think I told you in a few videos ago that they showed me shaking the hand of a man who was making a deal with to buy a car. So I've got this, I know that I've got a list of things that I've got to buy. One's a laundry basket, yes, we do have that. But there's also car. So it's on the list, but I haven't got there yet. And it's like I'm being told what to do. Not directly, but very indirectly told what to do with this. So I'm just getting what I need for a night out. The thing is, right, when this started, the first thing was brilliant and I felt elated about this jacket and I was like jumping up and down in my house, really excited because I knew it meant that sometime soon I'll be going out for dinner, for example, which I haven't done since, have I ever done that? Ooh, it must be 14 years, something like that. Anyway, so this happened, right? But then because it kept going on and on and on, and they wanted me to pushing me to buy, like I had to at this point. Then I started putting all my stuff on eBay, like all my things that I own, clothes that I haven't worn for ages, bits and pieces around the house, things that I've held onto for sentimental value, everything basically that isn't nailed down, that isn't useful. Even the salad servers went on eBay, this kind of stuff. So I'm clearing out my house of everything. That's a huge push too. Buying this new stuff. They're saying you're getting everything new, you're getting everything new. You can have what you want, you're getting everything new. So I'm just going with the flow. But as it's going on, right, I get this like feeling coming up of resistance because I've done this before. So in 2014, when I was told by two psychics he'll be back by Christmas, I actually bought a lot of new stuff then, and not to this extreme, and I got rid of stuff then. And then when I moved home, because they told me you're going to be moving home and you're putting your home on the market and you're moving home, and I did that. I sold everything nearly, apart from a few things that I dragged here, which are the things that I'm selling now. And so what started coming up, it was resistance in relation to what was going on. So you think it'd be a happy experience being allowed to buy all this new stuff and get all this stuff on board for like what appears to be coming towards me, which is love. But instead what's coming up inside of me is this resistance of, I've done this before, I don't see why I'm doing this, this makes no sense. If I'm doing this and this is like it was before and nothing happens, and then I'm going to have to put all this stuff on eBay again, aren't I? Because now, then I won't need it. So there's all this resistance coming up in relation to what was going on. And that literally went on from when it started, which must have been the last week of July, till yesterday, this morning, in fact. This chuntering, right? This complaining and this moaning. It wasn't a high-level purge. It wasn't like major resistance. And I was able to see myself doing this as well. So I had my all-seeing, all-knowing eye of the broader perspective seeing me in resistance. But I still couldn't stop being in resistance. And I couldn't stop doing it. The thing is, you are the one that you're connected to. So you are love. You are love for you, right? So it's like when you're in the resistance, you're resisting love for you. So I'm resisting love for me. But it's also, I've got a particular one that I'm connected to, a particular person, that's him. And I can't say any more than that really about that, because I don't even want to look at it, because part of me also was saying I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not interested. As I'm walking around buying jewellery. I'm not interested. I don't want to know. You do what you need to do. You get what you need to get, but don't talk to me about it. And I don't know who I'm talking to when I'm that. I was literally in a department store talking out loud to higher self as I'm walking around, like not caring if anybody saw me, because I'm so far through this process now. It's like, I don't give a shit. You want to listen to me talking to myself? That's fine. You think I'm mental? I don't care. so, so that was going on as well. Right, and then, yeah, what else? Uh, so all of that, but I was watching it, and I was watching it going on. And then I won't tell you about the shift, because what happened was I've been ordering things as well, and things getting sent to the house. So I had 2 things arrive, 2 boxes of different shoes from different shoe companies. And yesterday I went out to return them because they were all wrong. And I had these labels that I had to put on, basically. And then I had an extra label because the customer services had told me to use a different label. They were going to different companies, right? So I had this spare label, and I went into the post office to post them, and I gave them one parcel, and that was all fine, and it went through. And then I said, and I've got this other label, and I think I think I should be using this because it's got this QR code, and I'll get refunded quicker. And she printed it out for me, and I stuck it on, and I posted them off, and I went and did my shopping, my food shopping. I came home, had an evening that seemed to be fine, a little bit in lower vibration down in this pit, pulling this thing out of it, but not too bad. And I drank some wine, and then I went to sleep. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke bolt upright, and I just woke up. And then it was just like lying there, little things going through my head, nothing too important, no drama, just wanting really to go back to sleep. I had been saying a lot, because I was down in this pit pulling this thing out of it. My mantra for the past few days had been, I don't want to be here, I just want to go home, as in I want to be transformed, because I don't see the point of being here, because nothing ever happens in my life. I think you know where I am, right? You've all been there. It's like, just nothing goes on, and you see the world moving around you, and people having lives, and people having fun and laughter and joy and happiness, and meet with other people, and you're all alone, and you're on your own, and it's not going on, and you're like, well, what's the point of this? So I was kind of in that lower energy, and telling them that, telling non-physical that, saying, I just want to go home, let me go home. And then, like I say, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, bolt upright, couldn't go back to sleep. And the only thing that went in through my head, which was something that was extraordinary, was suddenly I was sitting in his apartment with him, and it would have been 15 years ago. And on this particular occasion, the way he was talking about things and what he was saying, and I just said to myself in my head, I said, he's really stupid. Really stupid. How could he be so stupid? And this was like what was just said in my head this morning when I woke up. And then I tried to get back to sleep again. And then suddenly, from out of nowhere, I found myself sitting in the middle of the bed, sitting bolt upright, realising that I'd put the same label, the same address on both of the parcels that I'd sent out. So they should have been going to separate companies, but they were both going to the same company. And even though I only had 2 things to post, and it was a really simple operation, I'd managed to send them to the same place. And one of them contained like 100 quid's worth of goods. So it's quite a lot of money to send to the wrong place. And I realised I'd done something really stupid. So can you see how that fits in with what has gone in my head? You're so stupid. And then me realising I'd done something really stupid. And I knew at that time, because this is a shift, right, that it was nothing about what I was saying about him in my head. It was him in his head saying that to himself in his head. Because you're connected through the mind. And when it has to shift, you get a lot of telepathy going on. And I realised that what he was saying to himself, I'm really stupid, was what I was hearing in my mind as though I was saying it about him. And then in response to that, him thinking he's really stupid, what comes up is that I've done something really stupid, like really, like blaringly, obviously could have been done easily. I've made it stupid. So it's like the connection as well is like what you do in the physical is representing what's going on in the energy or the location where you're clearing in the mind. So it's like a communication, right? For him to be like, oh, she's done something really stupid. So that's all right. I'm not the only stupid one. And feel better about being stupid, basically, right? So that's the shift. And it might sound a little bit weak now I'm saying it, but it was huge. I felt it like huge, like this huge energy. And as soon as I realised, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. And I came downstairs and I went online and I looked at everything and I looked at my receipts and I was like, yes, I sent these 2 parcels to the same address, and they should have been different addresses. And then I just laughed, and I just laughed about it. And I went back to bed and I lay there for an hour. I couldn't get back to sleep. By then it was about 4 or 5 in the morning anyway, 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever. So I knew I'd just sort it out when I got up. I was even going, I'm not bothered, I don't care. If you've not listened to me very long, you won't probably know that I actually gave away £14,000 a few years ago as part of this process. So I was just laughing like, well, that's a drop in the ocean really, isn't it, compared to what I've already given away that I haven't got back yet. So I sorted it all out today, but that's just how it shifted, right? So, and my vibration went right up as well, and all the resistance fell away. So all this like, I don't want to be here, I'm sick of being here, it's futile, it's pointless, all that's gone. All the general malaise, because I've been in a general malaise for the past month of just like, oh, what's the point of doing this, because it's never going to happen, it's never happened before. That's all fallen away. I'm pretty much out of the pit of despair now. And just laughing again about it. So something massively shifted yesterday. So I just wanted to share that. And I don't know if you noticed a shift like that going on with you, or maybe you're going to have it come soon. We did just go through what is known as Lionsgate. It is Friday the 13th. Everything counts in small amounts, but at the end of the day, it's your process and it's personal to you. So it's not going to necessarily correspond with these general dates of effect that we get posted out around saying it's all going to be going on. But just wanted to share it because you need to look, if you don't do that already, look at your physical experience, your life experience, and know that there isn't one single thing that's going on in your life experience that doesn't relate to your process. Everything relates to your process, no matter how far removed from what you think this is, it seems to be. So you cannot say posting back two different orders of shoes and getting them mixed up or whatever would if you looked at it from a physical standpoint, physical eye, would appear to relate to love or twin flames, but everything does, right? It's all about shifting you out of these negative paradigm thought patterns and shifting the masculine energy out of it as well, and essentially bringing you into a place of more love. Because what did I have to do when I realised I did something stupid? I had to just let go and laugh about it and not beat myself up about it. And that's always the answer, always, right? And if you're doing that, you're loving yourself. So you're bringing yourself love. It's the act of loving yourself that you're doing, and that's what brings love to you from outside of yourself. But first of all, it's got to be absolutely, without any kind of barrier that you're bringing it to yourself, and without any shame or regret, without any worry or stress, without any second guessing yourself. You get a lot that comes to you on this journey, which will ask you to second guess yourself. Maybe put somebody else first, maybe question yourself, maybe question whether you should have put yourself first. The answer is to always put yourself first, right? But it's also to let go. So you can't blame other people for what is your agenda, right? We've all got to be let go. That's narcissism. to cord people into feeling that they're responsible for you, and having an agenda which requires everybody to adhere to your rules and regulations and be controlled by you and what you want from them, because that's narcissism, right? So we've got to separate from that, and just let go. And sometimes that means just stating your terms, your conditions, and not having any discussion about it, and that person will need to let go, and you've also let go, because there's a lot of feeling like we have to explain ourselves, right? Why we did things that were stupid. Oh yes, the other thing just to share as well is that when I was sorting this out this morning, and I phoned the first company as soon as they opened, and spoke to someone there who's really helpful and knowledgeable and just normal. And that was fine. It's always the people that you have to deal with in customer services. You never know what energy you're going to get coming out. You never know what kind of lesson you're going to get. It's either going to be really easy, it's just going to sail through, or you're going to hit up upon some kind of resistance, like some kind of narcissism, which is basically drama, because narcissists always like to have a drama. They like to make things bigger and more, like everything has to be life-changing. The smallest little incidents need to change somebody's life, and generally in a bad way, like make them feel bad. So this was the second company I spoke to, and of course I got one of those narcissists. And the first thing the person said to me was, "Oh, well, I don't know, we've never had anything like that before. I don't know if we'll be able to sort that out for you." At which my heart started beating frantically. I kept my cool. I didn't get triggered, but my heart started going. Even though I told myself I wasn't bothered about it, my heart started going. The fear started coming up. Of course, that was all meant to happen as well. So I was meant to get that person so the fear could come up so I could experience that, because what I experience is what my connection experiences. So for me to be doing something and keeping myself in alignment with my vibration intact and not getting triggered whilst my heart is beating rapidly because I'm dealing with fear, is all about love as well. And it's all about my connection. And of course, I just maintained my equilibrium, and she went off to talk to her supervisor and came back and was like, "Oh yes, that'll be fine, we'll just send them back to you." So there was no drama. Well, she didn't say it like that actually. She did kind of go around the houses still trying to generate a bit of fear, but we got there eventually. Right, so that's that. Talking about the shift, always shifting out of fear into more love, loving the self, ultimately just the energy of love. Is this thing still ticking along? Yes, okay, and then we'll do some cards. Just do a general reading, see if there's anything else that we can dig out, that we can be enlightened towards on this twin flame process, this journey, this trip, which is the twin flame process. I'm just going to move that. It's a bit dark because I have to have the curtains drawn because it's really hot here and I've got the sun coming through that window. I've just got to do these videos when I'm guided to do them. I can't wait till the weather's right. And I've got to do this now. So, okay, let's have a look. Right, so we've got Knight of Pentacles, which is healing. Hanged Man, process. Temperance, the connection that goes between the masculine and feminine, the energetic connection. You can see the masculine and the feminine in the different coloured cups. And we've got Four of Cups, which is memories, or remembrance, emotional memories, that kind of thing. Could be actually emotional memory. There's this thing in PTSD, which is an emotional flashback, basically. So once you are PTSD is generated inside of you, normally by an abusive relationship, and a lot of the time in childhood, and it disrupts your fight and flight mechanism. So it means that you basically go off the deep end when you get triggered, because there's triggers everywhere, right? But not everybody goes off the deep end. So, but when you've got PTSD because you've been abused, you'd go off. You have no impulse control. You can't control your own emotions because you were never taught to love yourself. So you either go into fight, which is like getting really angry and screaming and shouting, which is what I might have done a few years ago on the phone today at Harriet, which I didn't do. Or you go into like running away and just like neurotic running and, pulling your hair out because you're terrified of what's going on, which I've done myself as well. Fight, flight, freeze, which is where you go into just go numb with shock, basically. I did do that a little bit this morning. I felt that numb shockness, which was really over too much in relation to what had happened. At the end of the day, it's a couple of pairs of shoes. It's not like the end of the world. But I've like froze, and I've felt that before in relation to my twin as well. And I know he's felt it. All these things he's got as well. The other one is fawn, and I'm not a fawner. I've never been a fawner. That's when you go really like you basically like start to pray to the person that's that you're dealing with, like beg and plead and fawn and stroke them. And I'm not really like that. So, but I know it's one of the disruptors. So yeah, but emotional flashback means that later in life you revert to type when you are triggered. So you go back into, like, instead of dealing with things like in an adult way, in an adult manner, you get triggered just like you would when you're a child, and you go into one of your fight-flight responses and you respond to a situation completely inappropriately, either in terms of what the situation is or just in terms of what's good for you. It's not good for you to get angry and shout and scream at somebody when you need to get something done, because it's going to make that person not want to do it for you. And that's what I've had all my life with my trigger, is that I've got like that, and then people are just like, oh, you're not a very nice person. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm a really nice person. I just get triggered. I just used to get triggered really, really badly. Same with my twin. So just when I say nice, I mean I've got integrity. I'm not going to go on about me, but I'm not a shyster, and I'm not a narcissist, and I'm not a sociopath, and I'm not a murdering psychopath. I'm just a regular person, apart from psychic. I'm a twin flame. I won't go on. Right, okay, so emotional flashback, that's what I'm getting for that, basically. And then what have we got here? Ooh, Three of Swords, that's the pain, right? The shot of the bolt. I said this before, it's like lightning bolts going through you, of what this journey, this process is pushing through your physical experience. It's like the pushing through pain into the physical, into feelings that are more competent, into an emotional capacity of competence, so that you can have love in a physical framework with another person that will be smooth sailing, and that won't be full of like drama and triggers and fight or flight responses, because neither of you want, right? Me and my twin, we had that all the time between each other, and it wasn't because of us. It was because of my parent, and it was because of his parents and what they did to us when we were small. So, and how we hadn't learned to deal with that. So what's basically going on here, we're clearing this trigger, is about clearing through the pain of taking action about something, communication, because I had to communicate, remember, with Harriet and also another person as well, and keeping yourself in check with your trigger, possibly keeping yourself in check with your emotional responses, growth. 3 is always growth. It doesn't matter what card it comes up with. So you grow through the pain. You have to go through things repeatedly in this process, and it's only through going through them, this kind of thing coming up, that you resolve inside of yourself all the barriers to like the big thing, right? So in terms of twin flames, it's like the love coming towards you, and as I said, it could be coming from anybody. So once you're able to respond to things with a feeling of love inside yourself for yourself and not be triggered, that's at the end of the day, when that's all done, is when it comes towards you. But if your connection with one particular person, they'll have to go through this as well with you if they're coming back, basically. And before they can go through that with you, when they come back, that nerve-wracking experience of contacting you when they come back, you have to go through it multiple times in the experience to clear their way forward. That's why you go back down the pit, to go through the experience, to be like they are, to be in the lower vibration, the lower expression, human nature, and then you bring it back up again and you come back into higher self once you finish that work of bringing them through that portal, that shift, right? So that's what just went on. Three of Wands, something on the way. So that's something on the horizon from what's just gone on. A shift in process. This one here, the trigger, the pain. Let's go here. Ending energetically, but of course the ending is the expansion energetically. So it's a clearing. So we've got to like the two different things, right? Because ending sounds final, as in there's nowhere to go, right? And it sounds like a full stop, right? So it sounds like it's like a what next then? And with that, you can get a lot of, you want to know things, right? It's like prediction. So it's like what's going to happen after this has happened. And that is not what this card means. The Ten of Wands, it's an expansion of energy. It's the possibilities, the limitless possibilities that come towards you once you let go of needing to know what comes next, right? The prediction. So it's all you're being guided to do is to look into where you're at, to what's going on in your physical life and relating that and understanding that in an energetic way, which is an expansion of understanding the connection that flows between whoever you are and what you represent, i.e. if you're here representing a feminine energy and playing that part, or if you're representing a masculine, if you are even watching this, because you're probably not if you're masculine, but well, you're both, but the thing is you will take precedent in one or the other. So it is the expansion of what you are experiencing in your physical life, in your manifested life, your life experience, and viewing it from a larger lens, basically. And from that, everything flows, right? And the resistance is like when I said I went into this, like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this anymore. That's just resistance. It's resistance to being in a physical life. It's resistance to the operation that you're going through, because you're going through an operation. This experience is an operation. It's like going, what do they call it? Undercover. Something like that. It's like, what's that other word, the expression they use? Deep, deep something or other. It's like, this is like a mission that's really important and really everything. It's everything, right? So it's not like, that's why you don't have a normal life that you see running around you outside of you and other people. Process, opposite that, we've got clarity. So we've got clarity of process and what the shift is about, and the trigger. So like I say, I had clarity of what the trigger was, what it was for, how it relates to the process. And that's possibly enough clarity to have, because how much clarity can you take on at any given point? You can't have clarity about absolutely everything, because then you would be not here. You would be only vibrational. Once you go back to being vibrational, you see everything for what you know everything, right? But you can't know it all here. So that's the thing. We can't see it all, but we can see the shifts that go on when the shifts go on. And let's get one out here. Mind, Queen of Swords, and that's the feminine, the mind of the feminine. So healing, Knight of Pentacles, and healing, basically healing in the physical as well, coming through the pain, the trigger, in the feminine mind. So that's exactly what went on this morning, is that I had to go through a trigger, and it was different than it had ever been before. Yes, I felt the numb shock of making it of that like thing briefly, not as much as I felt before. For example, when I went into separation with my twin, it felt like I had gone out of body. I was in such shock. I might as well, like a death experience. This was mild. I then also felt the fight a little bit, like frantically wanting to do something about it straight away, and the flight, like running around like a headless chicken, and just feeling like that, like I'm so stupid, how could I be so stupid? Yes, that came through, but had to come through, because you're clearing the way, you're healing through the trigger, through your mind, what's coming through your mind, and that's the clarity of the process, right? And it's the connection, and it's the expansion of the energy. So it's a let go. And I bet let's see if he comes up, shall we? There he is. I bet he comes up next. The King of Pentacles. So him and his physical, the masculine in their physical experience. That's what the trigger's for. So you're healing them. You're healing their physical life experience through what's going through you. And yes, it's energetic, but the energy it's in your brain. It's not just wah wah out there. It's not like talking about something that doesn't exist. It's inside of you. The connection is inside of you, and it's visible through your mind, and it's visible through your emotions, and it's visible through your physicality. It's visible through all those avenues. So that's where we are guided to look at and see, how is this corresponding? What is this doing? Not oh my God, this is happening and I don't like it, or that's weird. But what is it doing? What is it for? Right? So it's the healing of the pain inside the masculine, healing of the triggers inside the masculine, whoever they are, whatever they're located in at the moment, whatever person that energy is located in at the moment. Right? It's endeavouring to bring it forth and manifest it into your physical reality as a person. Let's just go here, Three of Swords. Devil, which is energetic connection, so it's drawing it to you. This thing that happened today, it just was like a lightning bolt through me, because it just finished this malaise that I've been in, this lower vibration. It just shut all that out, and I was just like, whoo! I went right back up and started laughing at the absurdity and the beauty of it, and the knowing of it. And they're like, oh my God, if it couldn't be any more kind of like, it was so obvious, just so obvious that this is a shift, not that I'm really stupid, but that I did it on purpose to shift something. Underneath, vibration of the feminine, Queen of Wands. So that's what it is. It's your vibration, and your vibration is what draws towards you the masculine in physical form. So it's all inside of you, right? And it's how you're responding to your triggers, and it's how you're managing them, and it's how you're bringing yourself them, and then you're moving into a higher position around them, and you're looking at them and knowing that it is a trigger that you brought in yourself to shift something in that person you're connected to, right? And that's also maybe all you need to know. And then just take that at face value, because in that there is so much vibrational competence in that disconnect from your actual physical life and thinking it's about you being stupid or anything else, or clever or anything. It's a vibrational competence, Let's go here on the Knight of Pentacles, fruition in the Seven of Pentacles, which is fruition in the physical world. So it's healing, physical, and it's bringing it into the physical world. And then we're going to go down here on the Queen of Swords, communication. Like I said, it's about communication. So I was guided to have to communicate with people and hold me equilibrium. It was also telepathy, communication. So it's also coming through him. It was coming through his mind. And then I can't say all the way, how does this apply to him now feeling more competent? But I know it does. I know in some way it's cleared what was part of the blockage or the resistance in him coming towards me, which is that he thinks he's stupid, right? And he thinks that I'll think he's stupid because that's what he always thought anyway, underlying everything, right? So it's clearing a way forward for him to communicate without having to worry or fear. And that heart palpitation that I had when I was speaking to Harriet, that is his heart banging as he has to come forward, because I know it will, because I know that's how he is. He used to tell me he was afraid he'd have a heart attack because he had such bad panic attacks, I think. Not that I realised that at the time, and not that he ever said that, because we didn't know anything at that time. We didn't know anything at all. Temperance, energetic connection between masculine and feminine, reunion in the Six of Cups. So that is a blessed reunion. And it's the children as well. So it's like you're going back to your childhood selves to clear like so much, what's it called? Just debris, just clear it all up. Just clear up all the fear, basically. Backlog. All the backlog of like communication, the things that were never said, the things that were said, the way it felt when you were apart, the way it felt when you were together, the way it felt when you felt like you'd said something stupid, right? Where you felt like you'd lost yourself or you'd lost them. So, on this journey, there's so much stepping forward and them not stepping forward to meet you. right? And then you have to step back. And there's so much shame you have to clear in terms of that you did that. And they do it as well. They step forward and you don't step forward, and they have to step back, and then they're clearing the shame of that. And it's all that goes on that you're clearing, right? It's coming into what is like just a really greater percentage of feeling good. 10 of Wands, which is this magnification of energy, this expansion of energy in the 10 of Wands, which is not a full stop. It's not an end. It is only a manifestation energy, because it's an expansion of energy and possibilities. And it's through the mind again. 8 of Swords, right? So it's by releasing from the mind, because that's it's the mind connection as well. The 8 is the spiral, the connection through the mind, the expansion of it's like energy pushing through the mind and opening up to possibilities. Some people will have multiple possibilities. Some people will have just the one that they know that's coming back, that's the one, right? It's not the same for everybody. But at the end of the journey, there's always love, right? We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for that reason. So there is. And by the time you get, like they said at the beginning, by the time you get to the end, whatever love comes in, it's going to be the love you want as well. So there isn't going to be any like, oh, but I only want them. No, because whatever comes towards you is going to be what you want, because you're manifesting what you want. So you're just going to get a lot of what you want showing up. So it'd be like going to the ice cream parlour and there was going to have 70 flavours that you could want. Not one flavour that you want and another 69 that you don't. 70 that you might want, right? That you're going to be looking at. Like wondering which one. It's a beautiful thing. Hanged Man, process. 2 of Cups, twin flames. So just, that is the twin flame process, which is why we're here. Knight of Swords, clarity, and the moon. So I'm not going to go into that. We work with the moon. Can I just leave it at that? Because I've got to do a whole video on that, and I can't do that now. So the clarity comes with the moon. Everything processes with the moon. There are certain stages of the moon. Waxing crescent is going to be about triggers. First quarter is going to be about reflection. And then I can't say the others because I can't remember them, but I'll put it out there at some point. When I've gone through the process, probably. Or maybe tomorrow, I don't know. When they tell me to, when I feel like it, when it's the time. 4 of Cups. This is the memory card, and this is the emotional flashbacks. Timing, Wheel of Fortune, and that is like the turn of the wheel, right? And that is the shift on the flashbacks. 3 of Wands, what's coming towards us? I'll just tell you something else actually. About 5 nights ago, I woke up in the morning and I heard what sounded like a key being turned in a lock and a very large door being slammed shut, or something like that. It was like a bang in my head, and I knew when that happened as well that something had. Well, it felt like something had finished actually, and I don't know what that meant, but I just heard it. It was really loud, like a door being banged, and it was inside my head. It wasn't outside. So just saying that because it just came to me when I put that shift down on that memory thing. 3 of Wands, which is something coming, and Queen of Cups, which is just go with the flow, right? And that's it for now, because there's no prediction there, is there? And we can't have that prediction because it's just not part of it. You just got to go with the flow, and you've just got to learn to read the journey. You've just got to get more into the fluidity of the journey and how that's coming through. It's ridiculous. Like I say, I'm going out and buying clothes that I, as a human being going through a life process, I can't envision me ever wearing, to be quite honest. But I'm doing it anyway because I'm doing what I'm told to do, because I'm going with the flow. So I'm just trusting again. But I'm not trusting in a way that is like, I don't have an outcome. And I think that was the part of me in my head saying, I don't know why I'm doing this. This makes no sense. It wasn't that I was trying to ask for why or being given an answer or a definite yes. New beginning, physical framework. It was just that I wanted to be in a place energetically where I was not asking for why am I doing this. And the only way I could be in that energy when I'm down the pit doing that work of bringing that masculine out of it was to be saying, it was kind of like I say, I was watching myself doing it. It's a bit childish, really. It's a bit like, I just don't know why I'm doing this. There's no point to this. It's ridiculous. I wasn't angry particularly. I was just moaning on. Wisdom, higher self of the feminine. What else we got? Lessening resistance, going to sleep, or maybe in sleep as well. Wisdom, higher self of the feminine, in sleep. So look at when you're being woken in the night. Look at what they're saying to you when you're being woken up in the night. Movement forward, 8 of Wands, energy moving forward. It's always energy shifting. It's always going to manifest into the physical at some point. How it's got to manifest is manifest as love, power of the feminine, listening to higher self in a physical format as well. If you're walking around the supermarket, you're out talking to yourself out loud, talking to your higher self, don't worry. The power of the feminine in the physical world, talking to higher self, right? So everybody else can go and do whatever they want to do. You could talk to your higher self in the supermarket. And anything else? Reunion, coming out again, and twin flames. So that's it. I'm going to leave it with that. I hope you're well. I'm still open for business. I'm still doing readings. I've got a website. If you want to book, if you've not booked with me before, then you can go there and you can decide what you want. And then ideally you pay for it and you email me, and then I will either schedule in for Skype, or I will let you know when I'm sending your video reading. Video readings are normally sent quite quickly. In a few days, a week at the most probably. And I prefer not to go back and forth on the email, just because I like to be in a state of let go and not, it's all on the website, so you can find out everything you want to know there basically, but rather than ask me questions by email, if that's all right. Thank you very much for understanding. Okay, lots of love. See you later. Bye.